And an update to Tesla vehicles was supposed to help drivers avoid serious injury. Instead, it's leaving them powerless. It's the focus of a new Chicago Sun-Times piece written by Stephanie Zimmermann. She joins us this morning to talk some more about it. Stephanie, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So Tesla, really popular vehicle.
Yes, they have a lot of fans. You know, they're environmentally friendly. They don't use any gas. They're kind of expensive, but, you know, they have this sort of techie fan group.
Definitely, but they've run into some issues.
Yes, they have. It started with a spate of fires that occurred in these cars.
Wow.
That's no good.
Yeah, and it was kind of mysterious. There were about 3 different fires, and they occurred in sometimes cars that had been parked and turned off.
That's one of them right there.
Yeah, and it was, you know, a mystery and some source of concern for the Tesla community. And Tesla, out of an abundance of caution, that's how they put out a software update. And what they do with these cars, it's similar to your cell phone, where, you know, your car is connected to the internet, and they can just push out an update to the software.
So it's not like we're a recall where you got to drive the car in. This is just done automatically.
Yes, it's just done. Yeah, and the complaint of the Tesla owners is that nobody ever told them what would happen with this update.
Right.
So it's just like you get this cell phone update, you know, you accept it, and then your phone behaves a little differently. Well, they pushed this update out for the cars, people accepted it, and didn't know what it would do.
Well, what does it do?
Well, it did 2 things. One thing was that it decreased the number of miles you could drive on a single charge.
Wow.
So suddenly people lost about 30 miles, which, you know, you're looking at the distance from Chicago to Naperville. And if you're a big time commuter, that could be, you know, a concern for you.
Yeah, if you're stuck on 88 and it stops, you're like, you know, this is a problem.
That's right. And it also took longer to charge the vehicle. So you would spend more time at one of those superchargers or plugged in at home. And this was something that people felt suddenly happened to them without warning.
So this is not a cheap car. This is not $25,000 we're talking. We're talking about $100K that people are spending their life savings on to be able to afford this car and get a kind of product that they're hoping will enrich their lives. That's not what they're getting. Is there any sort of action that they have for this now?
Yeah, well, there is a lawsuit. It's in federal court in California, and the lead plaintiff is a California man, but they're seeking to make it class action. So then it would include about 2,000 Tesla owners, Model S and Model X. These are folks, like you said, many of them are not gazillionaires. They just wanted to have, you know, an environmentally friendly car, and they wouldn't have to buy any gas. So that's kind of, you know, the upside. So there's this lawsuit, and then there's also a petition with the federal government. So it's the agency that does safety recalls. It's the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA. And there's a petition that seeks to have this whole thing addressed, the software update and the potential fire risk with these batteries. They're lithium-ion batteries.
Wow.
I got to ask, like, look, I understand people are upset that maybe they didn't get the full update on what was happening, and that's certainly to be debated, but they're trying to stop your car from getting set on fire. Isn't this just a little needy of Tesla owners in some respects?
I did ask that question to the people I talked to, the consumers, because I was like, you know, this purportedly was to address the fire risk. Like, shouldn't that make you happy? And they said yes, although that also caused them concern, because if the update is like quietly addressing a fire risk, they feel like that should be more of an open process. And that's part of what the petition with NHTSA asks for, is for this whole thing to be looked at in a more transparent manner, because I think the concern is that if the software update does other things that they don't expect, who knows if it even works? So that was kind of the concern.
And it's,
Well, go ahead, Brandon.
well, it's not just millionaires and billionaires who have these cars. I mean, everyday people work hard to get these. You actually profiled a firefighter who's actually worked really hard to get one of these cars, and he's not happy with his rate on return.
Right, and he said, you know, he put his life savings into this car. With all the options and all the fees when he bought the car, it was about $100,000. And, you know, and again, he thought, first of all, he'll save on gas, he'll be good to the environment, and he also kind of liked the technology. Like, there's sort of this like fan base of sort of techie people that love these cars, but they're not all definitely like, you know, these 1%er rich folks who have them. There are a lot of ordinary people.
Although I gotta say, can we get that picture up one more time? If you look at the reflection in the car, you can see a boat. So he's got a boat and a Tesla Dodge.
I don't think that's his boat.
I just say, good for him. Good for him.
He's a hardworking
He's
man.
out in the alley in Chicago.
As a family of firefighters, amen to them. They deserve it. And I gotta say, that is a broader discussion about what's happening with our our technology and then
Right.
automatically updating things. Thank you so much for stopping by, kind of breaking
Thanks
it
for
down.
having me.
Yeah, to learn more about the story and others, head on over to the Chicago Sun-Times website. We're also going to have a link up on the jamtvshow.com.